This is next in a series of how to draw some graphs. Let's do supply and demand. So I'm going to start us with a simple demand curve. So my demand curve looks like so. I'll make sure I label my axes. And there it is. Demand, just that simple. And all you're looking for with demand, and it follows the law of demand, if the price is really high, so this is my high price, because here's the origin and my prices. Look at this. I can see the ticks 1, 2, 3. This is like $10 right here. So if my price is really high, I'm only going to have a few buyers. So with a high price, I have a small quantity of buyers. However, if the price drops, right, you've all felt this, if the price is low, with the low price, that's an H, not an L, they kind of look the same. I have this huge quantity of buyers. Okay, so if the price goes up, and also keep in mind, we're talking about the exact same thing. We're talking about a, gallon of gas. A gallon of gas is the same as a gallon of gas anywhere. So if a gallon of gas is really expensive, I'm going to try hard to buy as little of it as I can. If a gallon of gas is really cheap, then I'm not going to pay attention to how much I'm driving, and I'm just going to fill my tank and really not care. I'll buy plenty of it. I'll take that long car trip because, whatever. Gallon of gas is $2. I'm in. Back in my day, it used to be less than $1, but that's irrelevant here. So if the price is really low, we'll buy more of it. If the price is really high, we're going to buy less of it. And this goes for you personally, and it also goes for everybody else in the world when it comes to that gallon of gas. So if the price gets really high, just in general, people will buy less. So that's demand. Supply, or actually let's get to things that can move this curve. So a movement along this curve, this is a change in quantity demanded. That's what we're looking at here. So there are things, though, that can change demand. Things that can, here's my demand curve again. Let me label things. Things that could actually increase the demand, that would move the entire curve over. These are there's an increase in demand. And these are our determinants of demand, and we had these in a couple different spots. Popularity, preference. If people just like it more, demand will go up. If there's more buyers that enter the market, more people show up in town, then that's going to increase demand. Incomes. If people's incomes go up, the demand will increase for most things. Remember, not inferior goods. If substitutes get more expensive, then I'm going to demand more of this thing because I don't want to buy the substitute. And if complements get more inexpensive, peanut butter gets really inexpensive. Hey, let's have some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I'll buy more jelly. My demand for jelly will increase. And then in just the opposite way, demand can also decrease. And it will move to the left here. So this is D1. This is just regular D. I don't know what that is. So that's just the opposite set of circumstances. If things become less popular, or people's incomes decrease, or a substitute gets less expensive, or a complement gets more expensive, or people leave the market, they close the passes, and we don't have tourists anymore. That decreases demand for everything all over town. So that is demand. Supply works kind of the same way. So here's our supply curve. And when we're talking about supply, we're talking about people willing to sell something. So our supply curve, if the price is really low, it's kind of hard to get motivated to sell things. Think of the example I've been using is snow shoveling. If the going rate for shoveling a driveway free of snow is $3, I'm not getting out of bed for $3. Okay. However, if for whatever reason people in town are paying $50 to shovel snow, so we got a really high price over here, then there's a lot of people out there that are going to want to shovel snow. I'm going to get out of bed for $50. I'm going to get up early and do as much as I possibly can. I am going to just break my back shoveling snow and make, maybe $1,000 by the end of the day. So if the price is really high, people are motivated to sell. If the price is low, people not so motivated to sell. So same thing, if the price just goes up and there's more sellers, this is just our change in quantity supplied. So for a change in supply, we need something else. So supply can increase. So there's supply. So an increase in supply is the whole curve shifting to the right. So this is an increase. And some things, those are determinants of supply. There's some things that can change the supply to increase it. If some technology is invented, that'll increase supply. If there's more sellers in the market, that will increase the overall supply. If my resource prices get cheaper, I can sell more stuff. If I'm selling hot dogs and buns get really cheap all of a sudden, I can buy more hot dogs and sell more stuff. So that'll increase overall supply. Supply can also decrease. So here's supply, $, and supply will move to the left. And also think of it as left and right and not up and down. This is a decrease. And this would be a bad change in technology. I'm not sure what that would entail. Sellers leave the market, resources get more expensive. All those things will cause a change, which will then lead us to, if we put these two things together, we can get to a state of equilibrium. So here's my shaky X and Y axis. Here's demand. Here's supply. And we hit a point where X marks the spot. We will follow this off to the left and that's going to be our equilibrium price. Take this down. That's our equilibrium quantity. And we're going to settle here because if the price is too high, there's going to be this difference. And the difference is going to exist in the sense that if the price is high, you're going to have a lot of people wanting to sell it. So a lot of sellers, but you're going to have very few buyers. And we wind up with this surplus. And nobody wants it. Okay? Or, backing out of here, it's also possible that the price to be too low. And if that's the case, you don't have anybody that wants to sell it, very few sellers. But you have lots of people that want to buy it. You have a line out front. And that's no good. So this, we wind up with a shortage. So equilibrium works. So if you have a shortage, we're going to raise the prices and get those people off the streets. If we have a surplus and too many laying around, sellers are going to lower their prices and we'll reach equilibrium. So we're going to wind up here no matter what. That's it.